So, TFA, if you can come up, we have a question here for you. What are the signs that your soul needs healing? Straight up, what are the signs that your soul needs healing?
Thank you very much, Gertrude, for asking this question. I mean, I think that two there are two ways to look at it. Number one is that every soul needs healing. Let's start from there. Every soul, even if you feel or you think that your soul does not need healing, every soul needs healing. Even if you did not experience abuse, trauma, or the things that are sort of popular that we feel happens to people, and so you need healing. I tell you, every soul needs healing. You know why? It's like going out every single day. Every soul needs to come back and have a bath. So, as long as you're in this world, we're in the world and quote unquote, we're not of the world. But
Not
my
of
point is,
it.
you are in the world. It means that you will encounter people who have been hurt and will hurt others. It means that you will work. So you will have colleagues, you will have bosses, you will have subordinates, you will have team members, and everybody is coming with their own flavor of their own souls that need healing. And so a cracked soul seeps out. A cracked soul, everybody, we seep out. It's almost like we could sort of like leak, Leak.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we all, even without saying a word. Sometimes you can get on a call or you can get on a Zoom call with people, and your vibe can affect the other person's vibe.
So true.
Let me just wrap this point. Every soul needs healing. That's the very first thing, because you are in the world. And so you interact with people on a daily basis, even per second, whether online, through chat, physical, whatever. Every soul needs healing. And then life happens. All kinds of all kinds of things happen to us in life. You move to a new environment, you change your job, whether you willingly changed your job or you got fired from your job. So you meet new people, right? You miss the old people, whatever the case may be. You may come in and out of a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship. You are experiencing life. That tells you that every soul needs healing, because you see, all these things that happen to us in life, they're like tiny wounds, really, even though they're really tiny, but they can pile up, right?
Yes.
So every soul needs healing. And then if you're looking for truly like practical or what you call tangible signs that you should be looking out for, think about how your body is feeling. The body keeps score, and the truth is, as a part of the book that Nkechi read about how the body stores trauma, sometimes it's in sweaty palms or it's in a racing heart. Sometimes it's in you feeling nervousness or what we call butterflies in your stomach when you are about to meet somebody. That person may not be like the king of England, but it could be someone that is important to you for whatever reason, right? Think about how you feel. Maybe your entire body feels on edge. Some of these are signs that your soul needs healing. Are you unnecessarily short with your children or with your loved ones or with your family members? When I start to snap and I notice that my voice is going up in decibels in my house, I know that, please, it's time. We need to retreat. We need to take a step back. That's one of the ways I know that I need to refresh or reset, right? So your body keeps the score. If you are having unexplained migraine headaches that even the doctor physically cannot explain, or you're having back aches, or you're having strange pains, the body keeps the score, even when we do not know it. But our bodies are, they're just ways of, or the body, quote unquote, is a way of being able to tell when we are experiencing something or we need healing. I hope this helps.
More than helps. More than helps. Thank you so much for that. I see another question that's coming in the chat said, is it possible to be afraid of the version of you whose soul is healed? What can you do to overcome the fear of healing?
This question, this
Guys,
question,
I will not have any problem.
This
Everything will just be
question
calm.
is from my sister in love. Her name is Vivian. She's literally the wife to my brother. And thank you
Hello,
very much for
sis.
being here. Um, yes, it's possible for you to be afraid of the version whose soul of you whose soul is healed. Correct. Um, but let me first of all preface that. Yes, you can be healed and you're still on your journey of healing. Let's remember that healing is a lifestyle. That it's as an example, you could have had an injury and that injury is healed now, but you have to maintain your healing, right? Sometimes you have to keep going to therapy, or you have to keep journaling, or you have to keep breathing, doing your exercises, doing your affirmations, doing your reflections, and so on. So, yes, you can come to a place of being healed, but then you continue on your journey in healing, your healing journey. So that's one. Number two, the version of you whose soul is healed is bolder, is more confident, has clarity, is organized. The version of you whose soul is healed is not afraid to fulfill your purpose. Everything that we talked about with when Dr. Sam was speaking, that version of you, you know where you fit, the parts and pieces of the puzzle, right? That version of you is the one that takes the bull by the horns and attacks life and
Mm,
is moving on no matter what, regardless of the circumstances and the challenges that are facing you. You are like, I am going to keep pushing. That version of you is beautiful. And some people are afraid of it because they are afraid of success. That's the truth.
mm,
There is a fear of success. And not success on the outside. Oh, I've gotten more money, or I've gotten more flashier clothes or cars, right? But the success of being a healed soul who is self aware, who has clarity, who does things with
mm.
boldness and with confidence, and knows how to set the right kind of boundaries. I'm talking to the boundaries girl, Lady Bralade, who the person who is able to be affirmative,
Yeah.
firm, without breaking the spirit of others. It's possible to be afraid of it, but I want you to now to answer the second part of Vivian's question. Just like Deji actually said and read out from the book, can you envision can you envision that version of you? Can you envision the impact that you will make in the world, even in your family or in your community, when your soul is healed and is continuously maintaining its healing? Envision the impact, envision the vibrancy, envision the continuous bursts of life that you will continually be feeling and dispensing to the world. Even as you are envisioning, think about the souls that are connected to your healed soul. That is a major way you can overcome the fear of healing. Think about the souls that are connected to your healed soul.
So beautiful.
So, whether it is what you're going to do as you are on your journey of healing to help others, it may not be that, oh, you now become a coach, a counselor, or a therapist. No, it could be that you will now bring all of yourself to the work that you do. It may mean that you will show up fully as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a teacher, as a whatever. The point is, think about the souls connected to your healed soul.
Mm. I see one more question here, and as we take the question, I'll just take a portion of your book as well, and maybe you can respond from there. But the question is, what if you've learned how to mask and get on with life and don't know how to heal? Where could you start from? So there are some people here, they're like, well, have I not dealt with that thing? But there's something you write in your book. You said there are times when the process doesn't feel like progress. You know them, you think you've forgiven, and suddenly the bitterness arises again. You believe you've moved on, and then a song, a scent, and memory knocks the wind out of you. You promise to hold a boundary, then you break it because the loneliness got loud. You are doing fine, and out of the blue, depression creeps back in quietly and uninvited. This is page 123. How do you stay rooted when setbacks come? And I don't know if you have a copy of the book with you for me, do you?
Yes, I do.
You Page 124. If you could speak to us from there.
Okay, I love that because it starts really about that the fact that healing is a journey and healing isn't
Mm,
done. Healing is never done. It says it's about building a new relationship with yourself. And so, like all journeys, there will be detours, there will be delays, there may be roadblocks, there may be pivots, just like in all journeys. Um, when it seems as though you are still in the process, and we all are, we're still in the process, but you find that, like we said, maybe you promised to hold a particular boundary, but the loneliness was loud, and so you broke that boundary, or you were lax with it. Or maybe a song or a scent reminds you of
so
something. You
true.
need to go back to the anchors. What you were
Mm,
holding on to when you started your healing journey. Could it be that you anchored yourself in a particular belief about who you are? Maybe that grounded identity that you grabbed, and you have to hold on to it with all that is within you. That is extremely important. Go back to the anchors that set you up on this journey of healing. The other thing is, go back to the anchors. So first one was the anchor of identity. The other anchor is the anchor of community. Those
mm,
people that identified that are your fire lighters, those people that you identified as people who you can always lean on, people that you trust, people that are safe spaces. That is another anchor for you to go back to. So you can really be yourself and say, hey, I'm on this journey of healing, but I heard a song and it reminded me of, right?
I don't even know when I started
I don't
crying.
even
I don't
know.
even.
Yes, you can actually be real with your anchor of community.
Mm,
Another thing in terms of your anchor that you're holding on to is those routines that you started to imbibe. So those routines could be deep breathing. Those routines could be what you say to yourself. Don't leave those routines, as in return to the anchors of routines. Whether it is making sure that it's not your phone that you touch the first thing, because maybe the phone is a source, the part of the phone are sources of triggers, right? So my point is, go back to your anchors. Go back to your anchors.
oh, thank you so much. We're seeing the links people are asking from all around the world, where they can get the books. You can get it on Amazon. So put When the Soul Cracks in there, or put Funmi Fatona-Ayowole in there. If not, the links are right there. If you've registered, you will also be getting emails with all of these. But for me, if you'd like to take a soul spark, which soul spark would you like to take with us? Which of the chapters or which of the spaces? So the soul sparks are these gem of bullet pointed affirmations or questions or reflections at the end of every chapter, people. And they're so beautiful. They just anchor you in what you just finished reading, maybe over the last 8 pages or something. They just anchor you.
Um, so I'm going to take Soul Sparks from chapter 4. Chapter 4 is about grief, and those are some of the sources. Grief is a source of soul wound that a lot of us either have experienced or will experience. I titled the chapter, I Lost Something, Someone, Everything, and Everyone. And as I was writing the book, I was truly reminded of my experience and ongoing experiences with grief. Some of you that are on YouTube know my personal story of how I first of all lost my mom in April 2022. And then my dad, after the burial of my mom, came to live with us in Canada. And then we lost him July of 2023. Basically, barely, I don't know, 14 months, right? So I turned that back to back because I don't even know whether or not I fully processed my grief from losing my mom before my dad passed. Because when my dad came to come and live with us, there would be times when I would be comforting him, but not fully processing my
Yourself.
own pain.
Mm.
And then he passed, and it was like a double whammy, I have to admit. And in the book, I go through that. In fact, I share in such graphic details, almost hour by hour, my experience of losing my dad. In the 48 hours from which he was not feeling so good in his tummy, and it was almost like, maybe I need to take, I think I've forgotten what it's called, that pink liquid that's like an antacid,
Yeah.
right? It was just a normal day. We actually went to Canada Day fireworks. This was July 1st, 2023. And it was normal. We went to the fireworks. He was fine. But coming back, he said, oh, his tummy was feeling funny. And then that night, I just gave him the antacid and I went to sleep. I thought it was a regular thing. I didn't know that when I would wake up, my husband would say, Daddy hasn't slept all night and his tummy has been, blowing up, quote unquote. And
Hurting.
so,
Mm.
yes. And so we go through that experience from that morning of July 2nd to where we lost him the morning of July 4th. And in the book, I truly go almost like blow by blow account of every hour in the hospital, when I was staying, when I was with him, and, really praying and keeping faith and having hope because he was improving. We rushed into the emergency hospital. But my journey with grief is still something that I am continuously processing. I don't take it for granted because there's
Mm.
still things that remind me of him. There is a particular sweatshirt that I wear that was his, and I just stay there and I pray for my heart. I think about
Mm.
memories. There's still times from time to time that my son says, I miss grandpa. And I don't rush
Yeah.
breeze over his own grief either. And I want to encourage any and everyone not to do that. You've lost something, you've lost someone in whatever stage of your life. Please don't breeze past your grief. Okay, so now
Oh,
uh,
thank you so much.
the, the
Okay.
soul spark. Let me read that. Is that okay? Can I read that?
Yes, please. Yes.
So, soul sparks from that chapter. The first one is, my grief is valid, it has shape and voice. Every soul spark, you need to sit with it. That's why I said, please, I'm encouraging everybody, don't speed read this book when you get it. My grief is valid, it has shape and voice. The number two soul spark says, I am allowed to miss what once was and
Mm.
still move forward. Some of us, when we are grieving, we feel that if I keep missing the person, I've not yet moved on. That's not true. You
Mm.
are allowed to miss the person. I'm allowed to miss my dad, and my mom, but I can move forward, meaning I can write a book and dedicate it to him, or to,
Mm.
meaning I can take their legacy and push it forward. I can miss something that I lost or someone that I lost and still move on. You're not betraying the memory of that person
Wow.
if you move on. I want us to remember that. The next soul spark says, I honor what I have lost by living with intention. So you sit with that, those thoughts. I honor what I lost by living with intention. I can hold sorrow and hope at the same time.
Wow. Remarkable.
I can hold sorrow and hope
Oh, and
at
hope.
the same time. Finally, even through heartbreak, I remain whole.
Even through heartbreak. No matter what you've lost, grief is not only when someone dies, no matter what you've lost, a marriage, a child, a job opportunity, a visa, paper, it doesn't even matter. No matter what, no matter what. I have a question here, which will tie in here. But do you just see how that just changed the mood? Some of you who are wondering, how do I listen to my spirit? How do I get myself to? Do you see the calming effect that just had on you? And it just immediately launched us into introspection and reflection and rejuvenation. So beautiful. Thank you for the power of those words for me. Now, someone's asking, are there tips in the book for healing when you are living with your trigger? That is such a question that women face a lot. So please, could you speak to that? And that might be a difficult spouse, that might be difficult children, that might be even circumstances which are not desirable, places where you don't want to live or where you don't want to work, but you find yourself feeling like you have no choice. Could you speak to that? And for those of you asking about the book club, you get your book, and TFA will tell you how to join the book club. But keep your receipt. I think that's how we will. But you have to do it quick because there's only 30 people.
At least for this first cohort of the Global Book Club. The first 30 people to get the book join cohort one of the Global Book Club, and then we can open the next one. Because even our team members, we have to do it in such an organized way. Let
Yes.
me speak about living with your trigger. I actually get questions like that in coaching sessions, in speaking engagements. There are a lot of people, just like you said, you may be in the same family house, whether marriage or just maybe your nuclear family, with a person who is a source of a soul wound. It happens. Maybe sometimes a person is still living with the person that abused them. It happens. And I acknowledge that very, very sincerely. I acknowledge that pain. Yes, we speak about it in the book, actually, the book that really the part of the book that really talks and digs deep into forgiveness and also digs deep into boundaries. There are parts about, when you are quote unquote trapped with the person that is a source of a trigger. But I will say this: the first one is that you have agency. You have agency. That means that you have a choice. Your decision can determine your destiny. In the words of Dr. Sam Adeyemi, you can decide that you can work towards it and decide that you need to leave that place that is fully sorry, there's a comment that made me laugh. That you can decide that you are leaving that place that is full of triggers for you, whether that place is a marriage, and I am not encouraging divorce, but on occasions of abuse, it is worth considering. You can decide you're leaving that place that is a trigger for you, whether it could be your family house. If you're an adult, you can safely, with guidance,
Yeah.
right? You may need to leave that place. So the first thing, like I said, is you have agency. You don't have to stay trapped. If for some reason you cannot escape from that area at this point in time, you also have a will that is a part of your soul. That means that you can create a fence around your soul,
Mm.
what you will let in, what you will keep out. Those boundaries are extremely important in enforcing boundaries, even for your soul. What will you allow to seep through into your soul, whether it's words or attitudes? What will you allow to seep into your soul, and what will you keep out? Not only that, I mean, the example I gave earlier on, that you go out every day and you come back and have a bath, right? We do that, or we are all supposed to do that, right? Have your bath after a long day, after being out. That is a routine. You can actually have soul baths for yourself. How you wash off the effect of a person who was a trigger to you during the day. And if you create routines and systems in your life where every day you reflect on what happened, you journal, you think through and reflect on your emotions, your reactions, what the person said, and how you are able to process it. You sit with the emotions and say, this one I'm not going to let stay with me.
Mm,
This one, I will take, suck out the juice that I need to, extract what I need to. I'll let the rest of the shaft go away. So, those are ways that you can, even when you are in a space with the person who is the source of your trigger, you have agency, and you also have a will, and you should establish routines that you take
come on.
soul baths on a daily basis. That would be my response.
So good. That thing she said about bath is so instructive. And that's part of what healing is. It's just washing off. There's this very great French term that is used to describe that. It's called yama yama. Hmm. That is used to wash it off of your body. Oh, for me, your book, I mean, you went all the way from feeling trauma to dealing with it to a healing journey. But your last two chapters are so instructive. There's some of us who've gone through this healing journey, but we're here now. We're like, whew, thank God, thank God we made it here. But you speak about the ripple effect. You speak about beyond healing. There's a life and there's a mission for those of you who've come out on the other side. And this is part of that picture that, someone was mentioning. What does that side look like? You start to become that community for others. You start to become that person. Even as chapter 14 says, change your tires while in motion. That's what TFA just explained now, because you can't stop. You're still moving. The triggers are all around you. It's on TV. It's everywhere you turn. The triggers are there.